Our last speaker of this session is Mr. Valon PRESTRESHI, President of Kosovo Competition Authority. Mr. PRESTRESHI was born in Pristina. He studied in United States of America until he graduated from Rochester Institute of Technology on Economics and Statistics. In 2005, he worked as a senior life insurance sales officer at Primerica Financial Services and worked as a sales agent at the National Commercial Bank during 2009. Early 2010, he started working as Director of Economy, Finance and Development in the municipality of Obelik. In 2013, he began his master's studies at the University of Sheffield in Turan for banking and finance. In 2014, he started working in private sector. After applying for president of the Kosovo Competition Authority, he successfully passed the government filters and was nominated by the government for president of the institution. The Assembly approved the government's proposal on June 9, 2016, and immediately took office. Mr. PRESTRESHI, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to hold a quick speech on some of the work that the Competition Authority has done during the pandemic situation. Once again, distinguished colleagues, I am honored to be among this panel and to talk about the experience. Despite the difficulties, I believe that the Kosovo Competition Authority has managed to play a very important role during this period of dealing with pandemic. You know that the Kosovo is a new state, and in accordance to that, the Kosovo Competition is a new authority. And we are aware that there's still work to be done to ensure that the role and mandate, as well as the knowledge of competition policy in Kosovo reaches the level we aim for. Given this fact, from the first day of the spread of pandemic in Europe and in our region, we have given ourselves the task to take a very active role during this period. Our commitment has been made in two areas. On the other hand, on site inspection and intensive investigation, and on the other hand, the advocacy campaign on competition policy and close communication with the media and the general public. At the beginning of March, I was appointed to the Special Commission for Prevention of the Pandemic by the government, more concretely by the Prime Minister. This commission was his duties were to manage the situation in all levels of the of authorities, starting from the intelligence, from the police, from the health, from the other institutions, in order to prevent the spread of the pandemic. A few weeks later, after investigation in several markets that we have initiated, we were able to identify competition violation in the sales of disinfection and alcohol for medical use. We were able to find concrete bid rigging situations, especially on the tenders of the Ministry of Health, where they needed these disinfection and alcohol, and we were able to identify these companies that actually agreed on enormous price fixing, on applying on tendering procedures. And as you all may know, when we deal with bid rigging, competition authorities only deal with horizontal agreements instead of vertical when we deal with the state and the public and the private companies. As for vertical agreements, they mostly fall under the criminal law, where we have corruption, meaning that vertical agreement, the ministry and the company agreed on some sort of rigging the tenders and so on. However, we were able to identify these, and we pursued, and we still are under in-depth investigation in order to bring forward the best decision that that we need to bring forward and to stop this. However, in August, when the authority decided, the authorities, meaning the Ministry of Health, together with the Prime Minister, when they decided to license large private laboratories in a sense of doing the tests, PCR and serological tests on COVID, because we were so much filled and so much busy, the public institutions. So what the government did, we started licensing private institution to do these tests. So what the competition authority in Kosovo did is that we took a further step where we obliged all licensed companies that do the tests to report weekly to the competition authorities on prices, on and to send all their turnovers, weekly turnovers, in order to see if somehow we can have, or to in a sense, to step away from the any prohibited agreement on price fixing, because this is where we were very scared, in a sense that all these licensed private institutions can have an agreement with each other and price for testing, for PCR and serological tests at the same level. And this was our concern. And we happened to actually have, after we started monitoring this and obliging them to report to us, in Kosovo, all laboratories have different prices. You can find from 20 euros of serological to 60 euros of PCR, 40, 30, 20, and so on. So the prices on COVID tests are different in Kosovo, and we actually managed to deal with this and to actually stabilize this thing. Where we also got a lot of how should I say, also from the EU office here in Kosovo, a lot of what's the word, recommendation, or should I say, I can't remember the word, but they actually liked the work that we did, even though we somehow went over our competences, because putting so much pressure on the private sector, especially on the licensing laboratories, putting this pressure, it's too much. But because we have the situation, the pandemic situation, they understood it, and they actually cooperated with us all the way up to this date as well. We can also we also conducted an awareness campaign, which includes the publication of informative videos. We actually did a lot of animated videos, also other videos where we put it out on social media, on TV and so on, where we made this advocacy, saying to the public and to the companies what are the competition policies and the 3 pillars that we deal with: prohibited agreements, abuse of dominance, and mergers and acquisition. In the end, I want to emphasize that perhaps we, the competition authority, have done something extraordinary beyond our mandate, as I mentioned. But another thing to mention is that during this work that we've done, most of the people here working in the competition authority were infected. We all passed COVID together with me, and all the commissioners, we all were infected, and somehow we passed it. We're feeling good. However, there's still this how should I say, this scareness here in the authority. But because of the work, we got infected. We did the good job, and then we're feeling good, and we're basically this is what we did during the pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. PRESTRESHI. From your speech, we have learned what the Kosovo Competition Authority encountered during the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, we also have learned that you passed the COVID-19 successfully. Thank you very much.